Tomorrow we have a full moon in Gemini, and this is not a fresh start moon. We're really not opening new doors here. It's more like we're being handed the keys to some doors we tried to open back in September. The first thing I notice about this full moon is that it's at the bendings. That's when the moon is perfectly square the north and south node. The nodes are where the eclipses happen. That means this is directly tied into eclipse season. It's almost like a checkpoint in a way for things that have been underway since September. So some kind of status report is coming in, think of it like getting the master tracks back. You had the big vision 3 months ago, or even put some work in then. But we have been missing the actual results or maybe some specific detail. Well, this is the week when that comes through. And I have to point out that there is a weirdly sober vibe for a Gemini full moon here. Mars and Saturn square is going to be big. I mean, Mars in Sagittarius is really making us restless, pushing things forward, bringing some irritation and heat to things. But Saturn is stepping in to cut the party with a dose of reality here, and that can really be like, not welcome. I think a lot of us are realizing that we have some info right now, but Jesus, it's going to be until March, That's just the astrology. That's what humans just have to go through right now. Now, a sober mind is going to be really helpful right now because you are going to feel split down the middle with the ruler of this full moon being Mercury in Scorpio, aspecting both Jupiter, bringing expansion to the table, and Saturn, bringing a sense of restriction and detachment. So you're going to have to balance these two things, which is negotiation, that's a Mercury thing. Pulling through things together, that's a Gemini and a Mercury thing. It all comes back to that grand water trine that we've been in for a minute now between these three planets, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. It's either been lifting your boat up with the tide or showing you where you must change and adapt or drown. So don't fight that friction right now. Just try to integrate these things. Don't really try to be too resistant right now because Saturn square Mars is going to make resistance not worth the cost. This full moon is in Gemini. We got to be adaptable, versatile. We have to hold that big opportunity, that optimism, that Jupiterian sense of I can do this, I can be this, while still honoring the limits of reality, the limits we have to place ourselves in, the humility that we have to find as human beings. So yeah, we are getting a new beat in this eclipse story, some new information coming in, but I'm not really saying new beginnings yet. Take this new information you get and use it to finalize your logistics. Taking care of this stuff now is going to make us actually able to move freely later on, and March is coming. There is going to be a lot of movement then, probably too much.